The things we know, but no one mentions. It's 21 questions with existential tension, unusual amazement, fantastical lessons. 21 questions with you.
Welcome to 21 Questions. Tonight we have with us Amanda McCarthy. She is going to be our first guest in this series with the randomness of questions. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
First one, what would the title of a movie about your life be?
Title of a movie about my life. Funny enough, I've thought about this because I view life very cinematically. If my life was a movie, the title would be the title of my first EP, which is The Good, the Bad, and the Awkward.
Okay, appropriate. What do you wish you were really good at?
Do I wish I was good at? I wish I was athletic, like running. I mean, I can hike, but like that's walking. I wish I could like run and like play sports really well. It's just never been in my DNA. I also wish that I was good at physical art. Like I'm good at music, I'm good at songwriting, but I can't even draw a tree without it looking ridiculous. So I wish I could do visual art a bit better.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. If you were a brand, what would your motto or slogan be?
Oh gosh. I'm trying to think. Oh goodness. All right, if I was a brand, what would my motto or slogan be? It'd probably be something along the lines of kind of how I view my life anyway. Like something like, I don't break rules, I just make my own.
Okay.
Something like that, but worded a little, more flowingly.
Slogan-y.
Yes.
Right, here's a fun one. If you could start a secret society, what would it be for?
Okay, secret societies. I'm gonna go with either a secret meme society, which I'm kind of part of a group chat where like I can share all the memes I wouldn't dare share on my professional page.
Okay.
The other one might be a secret taco society.
Nice. All right. Well, this one kind of goes along the same lines. If you could start a holiday, what would you call it and what would it be?
If I could start a holiday. All right. This is an interesting one because I have to decide if I want it to be like a serious holiday or a fun holiday. I think I'd like it to be
whatever you want it to be.
I think I'd like it to be I mean, I love Halloween, so I'm trying to think of something that's like not Halloween, but kind of like on that fun vibe. Now, so I'm gonna go with National Songwriters Day, where everybody songwriters.
Okay. What comes to mind when you hear the word life? A little deeper of a question.
When I hear the word life,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think of, I mentioned earlier that I kind of see the world cinematically. So when I hear the word life, I kind of see like a movie trailer in my head.
Okay.
It's like giving you a glimpse, from when you're a kid to like getting married and then like piecing everything in between is like kind of where the journey is. So I feel like I definitely see some sort of movie trailer with music behind it.
Okay, I can see that. Do you think parallel worlds exist?
100%, absolutely. And it's really fun to think about what those parallel worlds entail. Like, for example, there's a parallel world where we're having this exact interview, but we're wearing party hats. There's a parallel universe where we're having this conversation in person there's a parallel universe where I don't even know you. Like it's,
Yeah, I don't like that world.
yeah, I don't like that world either. But I believe it's out there, and it's really interesting to think about because the possibilities really are infinite.
Yeah. Have you seen the show Sliders?
The show Sliders,
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
have
a show, I
not seen.
want to say 80s or 90s, and it's all about sliding. Every episode is sliding into a parallel world. Same
Ooh.
city, just completely different world.
I haven't seen it, but I know it's older. Is it like on Netflix? Is it like accessible?
I don't know. I have it on DVD, so.
I'll figure it out. I want to see this.
Do you think it's possible to go through life without telling a lie?
I don't, I mean, I typically believe one can do anything if they really want to, but then like you'd have to like not experience like Santa with your kids if you have children. Um, God forbid your mom asked, does this dress make me look fat? And you have to say yes and risk being like, or like your girlfriend, like that's like a lose-lose situation. There are people who are honest about that stuff, and we all need that honesty once in a while, I guess. But what's really getting me is like the Santa Claus tooth fairy thing. Like I could, tell my kid there's no Santa Claus and we could just, do Christmas a different way. But I really love that magic.
Yeah.
And then there's like, I mean, like when you're a kid, like you eventually have to figure out what a lie is. I believe it probably can be done, but I'm going to say it's like a 1 in 54 billion chance.
Yeah. Is it scarier to think that we are the most advanced form of life in the universe, or that we could be among the least advanced form of life?
God, I hope we're the least advanced of life because if we're the most advanced, we're in trouble.
We are in trouble. This is one I've often pondered and have yet to come up with a true answer to.
Okay.
If you expect the unexpected, does that make the unexpected then the expected?
I feel like this can only be answered with the quote that goes something like, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Um, I, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? So expecting the unexpected. When I do anything, whether it's something big like, going to a store or going on a date versus like going to a store. Wait, that's not a big thing. What was I trying to say?
Well, now it kind of could be.
I meant to say playing a show. Grocery trips shouldn't be a big outing unless it's after 2 months of lockdown. So whether it's a big thing like playing a big show or going on a date, or just like everyday things like going to the store or taking a shower, like my brain zaps around at like 3 million miles an hour, and I'm typically expecting every possibility of whatever could happen anyway. So expecting the unexpected, does it become the expected? I want to say yes, because at one point or another you've thought about it and you've thought about what you would do.
Okay. So kind of like you explored all the possibilities and now it's not quite unexpected.
Yeah.
What inspires you?
Music in general inspires me. It's very rare that I go even an hour without thinking about either my own career or just music in general, even when I'm, doing something else. My daughter, of course, inspires me, and my boyfriend inspires me.
Okay.
Like the holy trinity of inspiration.
Yeah. I like that. Here's one that I found, and I was kind of excited to ask you about this one, only because it has to do with elephants.
Okay.
So you've been given an elephant. You cannot sell it, and you cannot give it away. What are you going to do with it?
I'm gonna to treat him like I would treat a doggy. He's going to be my pet. He's going to be my BFF. I feel a little weird about not being able to release him back into the wild, but if he's got to stay with me, then we're going to make the best of it, and I'm going to treat him or her like a king or queen.
All right. Is it possible to stand backwards on a staircase?
Ooh. Oh. I would say only if it's like a one-way staircase. Like, you know how like aisles in the grocery store right now are one way?
Okay.
So if like there's a designated up staircase and a designated down staircase and you're on the wrong one, I'd say maybe. But otherwise, that's a very interesting question.
You can invite 3 people over for dinner. Any 3 people you want. Who would you invite, and how do you think that night would go?
Do they have to be alive?
Nope.
All right.
Anybody you want.
I'm inviting my aunt over for dinner. I mean, I'd probably choose all people who have passed away. I'd probably choose I'd choose my aunt and my 2 grandmothers. It feels really hard to not choose my grandfather, but I was younger when he died away or passed away. And I kind of lost my aunt and my 2 grandmothers all within a year, and it was like the stupidest year of my life. So I'd probably choose the 3 of them to have over for dinner.
Okay. I like that. It's kind of sweet. Do we control our technology, or does our technology control us?
Yes.
That could definitely go both ways.
I mean, I definitely think technology does kind of have a hold over us. We're all very reliant on it. We kind of base a lot of our decisions around it, finances. But at the end of the day, like the 7 to 15 people running all of this could turn it all off anytime they want. So I'd say that ultimately we control technology, like we as in humans.
Yes, I would agree with that. What do we need more of in the world? Wisdom or intelligence?
Wisdom. Wisdom will bring intelligence. You could be the smartest person in the world, but if you have no common sense to use it with, it's not going to go over well. So I would say wisdom.
Okay. Do fish ever get thirsty?
Oh my. Oh gosh.
I did tell you these were going to be completely random, right?
I would say the only time a fish would get thirsty is if it's taken out of water and about to die. I mean, every living being needs water to survive, or maybe not little bacteria, but most living beings need water to survive. Their need for water is obviously much more severe than ours. So I would say fish can get thirsty, but usually don't.
Okay.
If they're lucky, they're not thirsty.
Yeah, if they're thirsty, they're dying. Would you rather be able to communicate with animals or read people's minds?
I'd love to communicate with animals. I feel like reading people's minds would seem interesting, but it would eventually be the biggest curse. You'd either see so many disturbing things you don't want to see, or like if they thought you looked ugly, like you'd know that they thought you looked ugly even if they weren't saying it out loud. And I feel like there's just so many things that could go wrong with knowing what everyone's thinking. I'd rather talk to animals.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to know what everybody around me is thinking.
Yep.
That could get very, very overwhelming very quickly.
Absolutely.
What is the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
Most spontaneous thing I've ever done. So I decided on a 24-hour notice to go to music conference in New Jersey. And at the time I lived in New Hampshire. So that was kind of a bigger trip to decide on less than 24-hour notice. Any lighter. I didn't have a lighter, but he noticed my license plate. We were talking. He's like, "Hey, do you want me to like show you around?" And I was like, that sounds like something a serial killer would say to me. But I went and hung out with him anyway, and we're still buds to this day. And he did not kill me. It was still probably one of the stupidest things I've ever done. But I literally texted my group chat. I'm like, "This is where I am. If I go missing, call the police."
Yeah. Sometimes you need to have just that reassurance of somebody knows where I am, just in case something goes sideways. What's the difference between living and existing?
Existing, I could wake up, use the bathroom, get back in bed, eventually go eat some cereal, get back in bed, and just repeat until I die. Living, I feel, is like what really gets your mind, or just going out and experiencing things, seeing nature, going to the mall, just doing anything to kind of generate thought processes and feelings and serotonin and stuff. I feel like existing is like just the bare bones of being a living organism. Like a bacteria can exist, but I wouldn't say they're living.
Yeah.
Like not the way we go out and live our lives.
If you had a time machine, would you rather go into the past or the future?
That's a good question. I don't necessarily believe in looking back on the past, but I think there's things I'd like to relive from when I was little. But also, like, I've lived that. The way I see it, and this is where it kind of gets confusing in my head.
Okay.
So, like, I'm going to get to the future. I'm going to get there eventually. The past, I'm never going to get there again. So I kind of want to go back to that. But also, I feel like I'd want to see, like, far into the future, like, beyond any life capacity I could possibly hold. I could live to be, 117, but I'm not going to live to be, 342. But also I'm really scared to see where humanity's at. So I think maybe I'd go to the past.
Yeah, I could see trying to go into the future far enough so that it doesn't interfere with like your direct timeline, like 200-300 years from now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the past would be a little bit more fun just to experience something different.
I feel that. You know what I would do? I would go to the 60s and help combat racial movements and racial equality.
Yep, there you go. Instead of just visiting the past, help or visit the past and change the future.
Yes.
Okay. Last one. If you had 20 seconds to talk to your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Don't date shitty men, but if you're gonna do it anyway, be prepared to make the best career you can out of it. It's gonna be okay.
Okay. Use it as inspiration.
Yep. And I mean, I think I already knew at the time that's what I was gonna do, but I think I'd reinforce that fact, and maybe I just would have gotten certain places quicker if I knew what to expect. Though I'd probably just tell her to stay away from the shitty men.
It's usually a good piece of advice. Well, that's our 21 questions. Is there anything you want to leave to our viewers?
If you want to know, I mentioned music at like some points, even though this wasn't a music interview, but if you do want to check any of that stuff out, you can find me at amandamccarthy.com. I have music on Spotify. Spotify is my more recent music. I have my whole discography dating back all the way to my first release stuff on Bandcamp. I did mention one of those EPs toward the beginning. So feel free to check out the music. Hopefully you'll listen to it and think back on this interview and be like, yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. Well, thank you for our fun, non-traditional questions.
Yes, this was fun. It was refreshing and different. And it was nice to not have to just brag about myself for 20 minutes. So this was fun.
Your artists get all kinds of questions about your careers and your past, and it's a lot of the same questions. So this is something to kind of get to know artists and get in your heads a little bit without going, here's my career.
Yep.
All right.
The things we know, but no one mentions. It's 21 questions with existential tension. Unusual